lot of people are trying to recover from burnout, and I want to talk about how to recover from burnout in a couple weeks or sooner. Okay? So we'll wait till we get more people in here. Hi, everybody. We'll wait till we get more people in here. Um, Let me just make sure I'm on the right channel. I should be on the right channel. Be back in 1 second, y'all. I'm back. So, hold on, y'all. Be back in 1 second. I don't know what's going on with this. So, this is how you get through burnout in a couple of weeks. Okay? I'm going to give you the very first thing. And it's what I've been doing. And I feel in changes already. I feel improvement. The very first thing is to avoid anything that's hot, like steam rooms. Don't be out in the sun for a long time. Don't do any exercises that make you sweat. No high intensity exercises. No aerobics, aerobics. Okay? You want to make sure that you are cool, rinsing your face like a couple times a day with cold water, or you're at least standing in the shower in cold water at some point during your shower. When you have burnout, it's no different than a car engine overheating. So what do? You have to let it cool down, right? So you're not going to park your overheated car in the sun. You're not going to drive it faster when it's overheated. You're not going to put a lot in the car and make it too heavy. So that's another thing. You want to actually practice minimalism in everything. Everything in your life. Not just where you think you have the most clutter. So you want to get down to minimalism in everything. If you're African American, you may want to consider keeping the same hairdo for at least 2 weeks and getting someone else to do it for you. There are different things that make burnout worse, like stressful self-care. So get somebody else to shampoo and condition your hair. Get somebody else to do self-care for you that requires you to bend your back or twist in ways that it hurts. You want to avoid that. You want to make sure that you have, I would say, at least 20 minutes of silence a day where you're just laying there and you're hearing nothing around you but the sound of a fan or the AC. So you need at least 20 minutes. Okay, you're just laying there in the silence. This is every single day. Give to people who are grateful of you. Only people who are grateful of you. When you give to people, to resources that don't care about you, your burnout get worse. Because they're one of the reasons why you got burnout. So if you feel like you want to be generous and you want to still have value in yourself, give to organizations that have gratitude. Hi, everybody. Hi, everyone. I'm going to get on video for a minute. In a minute, I will. So this video is to help anybody who's struggling with burnout. What you don't want to do is have any type of mental battle. Every mental battle you have is going to feel like World War II. So try to avoid the comment section on videos that are negative. I recommend avoiding political conversations, race, gender conversations, and conversations about toxicity in society, like American issues. Like, avoid all that stuff. So those are some things on the list. A few other things is to have cool things like popsicles, icy cups, cold yogurt. You know, you want to put cold things in your body, like icy ice water. Like you want to freeze like your juice and drink your juice icy. Okay, so you're cooling down your chakras. Another thing is you want to go to bed an hour earlier than most people go to bed. So if you know that majority of people are in bed by 10 or 11, Monday through Thursday, then you probably should be in bed by like 8:30. Okay? Whenever me and my family feel like we're headed for burnout, we're always asleep by 9 o'clock. Okay? And I can explain why it's important to go to bed by 9 o'clock when you have burnout, but that's another video. Okay, that's another video. Another thing is your exercises have to be like exercises for like 90-year-old people, like Tai Chi, yoga, you know. So consider doing some water. I would be careful of water aerobics. It is like high intensity, so you may want to avoid that. But you may want to do some like just soaking in the water, you know, gentle, slow swimming. Going night swimming, because at night the swimming pool is cooler. So if you have a swimming pool, swimming pool in your neighborhood, you might want to go night swimming. Normally the night swimming is between like 6 and 8 p.m. in most neighborhoods. You don't want to go swimming in an indoor heated pool. Okay. Another thing is you need to do a lot of things that people aren't doing in this society today. Like when you go to do things, say, is everybody doing this? Okay? Because there's a such thing as collective burnout. Whereas you're in the frequency flow and what you're doing is what everybody's doing, so that's why you're getting burnout. It's kind of like you're fighting over the energy. So, say, is everybody having all their fun online? If you know that a lot of people are going online to have fun, then you don't have fun online. You know that all the energy on there is going to contribute to your drainage, your drain feeling, that feeling of feeling exhausted. Now, another thing is learning how to chill for ridiculously long periods of time. I'm a queen at that. I've become so good at it recently that my family think I'm better than everybody now. But it's not that. It's just that I just don't want to feel the strength of that burnout that I felt some months ago. So I will literally sit around for half of my day. I will literally sit sometimes for 6 hours. I know that sounds wild. I might walk around a little bit slowly, but for 6 hours, I'm literally doing nothing that anyone would consider fruitful. I might be just writing. I might be just reading. Fun things, slow cleaning. I literally only clean 20 minutes an hour. Where, some people will clean for 3 hours straight and then they'll go ahead and rest. I don't do more than 20 minutes cleaning per time a day. If I do more than that, it's because I rested for 2 hours and then I did another 20 minutes. What I found out is that the body does not want to work an hour straight all day. It doesn't even want to do that for 8 hours. It can't stand it. Even if you got a bunch of energy and you think that it can, your body is literally smoking in the inside. So if you want to get through your burnout real quick, 20 to 30 minute work every hour and on something different. So for example, if you're doing 20, 30 minute cleaning this hour, then whatever you're doing with the last 60 minutes or last 30 minutes, it needs to be very low stress. It needs to be something that you feel like you're just chilling while you're doing it. And it needs not to be related to what you did 30 minutes ago. So for example, if I spend 20, 30 minutes doing the dishes, I'm pretty much, after that, I'm going to sit on my couch and maybe just read a book. I'm not going to do something like doom scrolling after that, because then it would be like I'm still on a treadmill. I'm still working. That's what it's going to feel like to my body. So every hour, hi everybody, every hour, literally say, I'm only going to do 20 to 30 minutes of work that feels like work. Okay, and I wouldn't even do that every hour. I would literally be like, every 2-3 hours, I'll do something that feels like work. If you have burnout, every 2-3 hours. So basically 8 o'clock, from 8 o'clock to 8:30, work that feels like work. But then from like 9 to 12, nothing. Nothing that feels like work. Nothing. Even if you take a shower, that shower better not feel like work. You should be going super slow. Everything you do after that 30 minutes of work needs to be done super slow. So for every 30-minute work you put in, you need at least 2 hours of enjoyment, of peaceful pleasure, of slow energy releasing pleasure. So you work for 30 minutes, then 2 hours, you just kind of miss, lazy bones. You're living like you're retired. You're going to have family members say you're lazy. You only did 2 hours of work, according to what I see, or how much time you said you put in. You're going to have people who live with you if you're working at your home, who's going to judge you, and you need to just ignore them. Okay? All right. Let's say you have a 9-to-5 job. You have to have some stretches of slow, minimum work. So, for example, when I got burned out working at the bank, I stopped chasing the quota, which was 1,800 docs. That was my quota, because I was employee of the month. So I went down to only processing the bare minimum that wouldn't get me fired, which was 900 docs. You had to process at least 900 docs so you don't get fired. So I would always do 1,000 just to be sure I hit that 900 mark. But I didn't do 1,800. Did I not be employee of the month the last 2 months of my contract? No, I wasn't. Did I care? No. I had a whole year of burnout. So while everybody else was breaking their neck to exceed their quota every week, I was staying within the minimum that you could do without being fired. So I noticed by the end of the second month, my burnout went away. I literally was able to walk around town on my lunch break without feeling exhausted. I was able to go to karaoke and go dancing on the weekends. That's how I knew my burnout was gone. Hi, everybody. Hi, Carmela. Hi, Saluna. Okay. So Allow yourself to come in last at work. Allow other co-workers to win. Because you're winning too. You're winning too. You're putting your spiritual care first. You're still gonna get your paycheck. You might not get the bonuses. You might not get the tips. The amount of tips that you normally get. But the benefits of not being burnout is more important. Okay, that means that when you come off of burnout, you're going to be very, very productive. So, another thing to recover from burnout very fast, and I know this is weird, but people don't know that TV increases burnout. What I like to do during burnout is I like to watch one movie over 3 days. Now, I know that's crazy. Like, I will literally watch 40 minutes of the movie today, 40 minutes of the movie tomorrow, and the last 30 minutes of the movie the next day. This keeps me from getting fatigued from looking at the TV. The fatigue making me feel like my burnout is getting worse. Because staring at the TV, all the electronic energy and magnetic waves and all that, is making your burnout exhaustion worse. So I try to limit my TV to an hour and a half over 3 days. Now what I'll do, if it's a series, I'll watch two parts of the series a day, which will be like 50 something minutes or so, or something like that. And what that'll do is that'll make me like want to know what's next in the series, so then I'll watch it tomorrow. You know, I'll let the suspense build up. I find that watching series on the schedule is better than trying to get through a whole movie in one day. Okay. So, this may be something you may be tempted. If you get bored, you have to do things that we did that was boring before technology. That you would do if you were bored. So what would you do if you were bored if it was in the 1980s? Of course you get bored when you're trying to recover from burnout. You know, you're not doing as much, work. You're probably not seeing people. You ain't going nowhere because you got burnout. So you're like, I'm still bored though. It's important to do things that you would do before technology. So that's up to you what you choose to do. If you're an artist, micro art. You don't want to do a whole canvas or a big, intense art project while you have burnout. So let's say you normally do whole scenes of watercolor. When you have burnout, you can't do that. You got to do like postcard paintings. You got to do object paintings. Something that would require you to not change perspective so much. Where your mind is not being pulled in too many directions. You want to avoid that while you have burnout. You actually want to avoid, you want to avoid multitasking. And when you're doing whole paintings and canvases, you're kind of multitasking. You're like, you're doing the ground, then you're doing the building, then you're doing the people. That can still come off as work even if you enjoy it. So for writers, you want to actually stick with the same type of writing. Okay, so you don't want to write different stuff. You may even want to just focus on one project and one thing. So for example, there's writing that there's poetry that you can write that literally has where you repeat a line. That means you're just going to write all poems in which you only repeat a line. You repeat a line. That's the only type of poem you write. Your brain is literally overworked when you have burnout. So you definitely don't want complicated, deep thinking stuff. Right. Consider limiting yourself to one floor of your house. When you go up and down them steps, that increases burnout when you have burnout. So consider staying on one floor that's the coolest floor in your house. So where the AC at, that's where you stay at. Now, and I know what y'all saying, but I gotta eat. You need to be like, I only leave this room to eat. Like I don't go to this floor, to a different room or a different floor unless I'm going to go get food. Like just even going down the steps and going outside to get the mail and that could get exhausting while you have burnout. So it's better that you get the mail when because most people, they might be upstairs and then the mailman come. You get your mail when you feel like you just got done resting or meditating. Then you're relaxed. Okay, especially if it's hot outside, you open that door, that heat hits you, you just went down the steps, you're going to be like, woo, child, you might even get anxiety. So pick a time that you feel real cool and you feel relaxed before you want to run the trash out, before you take the trash out, before you go get the mail. Hi, everybody. So, another thing is take all you need to get your energy together to do things for yourself. If it takes 3 hours for you to get up off the couch to shower yourself, so what? Like, so what? If you're so burnt out that you cannot shower every day, like get in the shower, then wash up. You know, wash up like you in prison. You know, if you got to do that. If you got to do that, just because you're too burnt out, there's nothing wrong with that. Also, if there's anything with your self-care that requires you to think a lot about it, don't do it. So for me, it's like, I don't want to think about how I need to dress up, how I need to look good, this and that, while I have burnout. So what I do is I just put on my thin my workout clothes. Even though I'm not going to the gym and doing some hardcore workout, I will put on my thin shorts, workout gym shorts, or my thin yoga pants. And that will be my outfit for the day. I don't want to keep switching outfits. I don't want to switch from workout clothes to outfits. That's exhausting, see? So I will just be in my yoga pants all day. So I will literally just wear all yoga clothes for the first week that I'm recovering from burnout. And then maybe the next week I wear all dresses. So see, I'm not thinking like pants this day, shorts tomorrow, dresses the next day. That's too much. So I'm narrowing it down like all yoga clothes this week, all dresses next week. This way I don't have to think hard. I don't have to think hard about what I'm going to wear. Okay, y'all, I got to get ready to go. There is actually more information. One thing I also learned, this is to go. When you're going through burnout, you need to turn the volume down on everything. Like you have to turn the volume down on movies, TV, different things, technology, turn it down. Because when the volume's loud, it still registers like someone screaming at you when you are going through burnout. And at one point, you're going to get so aggravated by the volume being loud that you're going to be like, wow, this is so hard when you made the burnout harder by listening to your TV past the halfway point. So keep the volume like under the halfway point. It should be quiet enough in your home where you can still hear the TV with the volume low. You need that kind of quiet in your home. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching. Once again, thank you for the donations this week. If you'd like to send a donation, you can send it to my Cash App. at money sign Coach V Hunter. I just came up with one more thing that I did is I also did pickup. Most of the stuff that I bought for myself, it was either delivered to my door or I picked it up. Like I don't run around stores looking for stuff when I have burnout. That's just so exhausting with all the traffic, the carts all around you. So I normally get a lot of pickup, or curbside delivery. If I'm having a couple days where I'm not cooking because I have burnout, I will literally go through drive-through. And the reason why I go through drive-through is because when you're standing in the line, you're waiting to get seated at a restaurant, that can be irritating. Then you get to the seat and you got all these people talking around you. You're hearing dishes and noises and stuff. It's irritating. You're very irritable when you have burnout. So it's better to go through drive-through, take your food to the park, to a quiet place in the park, and eat in quiet. Or take your food from takeout, take it home, and eat it in quiet. Even if you are eating at a 5-star restaurant, go in and order it and tell them you want it to go. If it's not a quiet restaurant, if it's a packed restaurant like Denny's, you don't eat in there when you have burnout. Okay? So when you go out to eat, because you're like, yeah, I got burnout, I'm too burnt to cook. When you go in a restaurant, you're looking to see how packed it is, how noisy it is. If it's real packed, a lot of people waiting, all the seats taken, you'd be like, no, I want my food to go. Hi, everybody. I'll see y'all later. Have a good one. Bye.